Hello, story lovers, and welcome to our magical storytime corner. Today, we're going to join a tiny friend on a big adventure. Have you ever wondered what it's like for the little creatures when the seasons change? Well, get cozy because we're about to find out with a very sleepy fly named Mrs. Fly. Let's begin our story. When autumn came, autumn had arrived in Europe. The air started to feel a little cooler, and if you looked around, you could see the world was changing. Everywhere, leaves were beginning to fall from the trees. It was like a beautiful painting. Some leaves were a bright, shiny red, just like crisp apples. Some were a brilliant yellow, like the sun shining down on a warm day, and others were a comforting brown, the color of freshly baked bread, still warm from the oven. Mrs. Fly noticed this change right away. You see, for almost a whole week, she had not been sleeping well at all. Her tiny wings felt so tired, and her big, round eyes felt heavy, like she was carrying little weights on them. She yawned again and again, a big, wide yawn for such a little fly. It seemed like all she wanted was a good, long nap. Whenever Mrs. Fly found a leaf to rest on, it felt so soft and cozy, like the perfect little bed. As soon as she closed her eyes, she would begin to dream wonderful fly dreams. But then, just as she was drifting off, whoosh, the leaf would suddenly start to move. Mrs. Fly would feel herself floating through the air, completely surprised. Round and round she went, spinning and twirling, still attached to her leafy bed, and then thump. They would land gently on the ground. How annoying! Mrs. Fly buzzed to herself. She would shake her tired wings and look all around, confused. Why can't I sleep peacefully anymore? She asked herself, feeling quite frustrated. She just wanted a little bit of quiet rest, but the world seemed to have other plans for her. It was a real puzzle. The very next morning, things got even stranger. Mrs. Fly woke up to find that the sky had turned a gloomy grey. Big dark clouds had rolled in, completely covering the sun, and a strong wind began to blow through the trees. The branches swayed back and forth, and the leaves whispered to each other. Despite the wind, Mrs. Fly was determined to get some sleep. She carefully flew up into a tall tree and chose a very large, sturdy-looking leaf. "This one looks perfect," she said to herself, feeling hopeful. She curled up into a tiny ball on the leaf, closed her eyes, and tried with all her might to fall asleep. But the wind had other plans entirely. Suddenly, the leaf she was on lifted right into the air. It wasn't a gentle float this time. Her leafy bed danced and spun wildly, like a tiny boat caught in a big storm at sea. Mrs. Fly held on as tightly as she could, her little legs gripping the leaf. Up they went, soaring high towards the grey clouds. Then down they went, diving towards the ground. Around and around they flew, in a dizzying, windy dance, then bam! The wind gave them one final, strong push straight down. But instead of a hard landing, Mrs. Fly and her leaf landed softly on a thick, fluffy pile of leaves below. It was like landing on a giant, colorful pillow. She was surrounded All around her were leaves of many, many beautiful colors: fiery red, sunny yellow, bright orange, and deep earthy brown. It was a mountain of autumn leaves. Mrs. Fly took a deep breath, and the air smelled sweet and earthy. "Oh," she said quietly, her little voice full of wonder. "Now I understand." She looked up at the trees, their branches now looking a little bare. She watched other leaves flying through the air, carried by the strong wind. She felt the chilly breeze on her wings. "It is autumn again," she said. "That's why the leaves keep falling. And the wind is so strong." A little smile appeared on her face. It all made sense now. The world wasn't trying to bother her. It was just changing the way it always did. Mrs. Fly stretched her wings. She felt a lot better now that she understood what was happening. "I should not sleep in the trees right now," she thought wisely. "It's too windy and unpredictable. I need a safer place to rest." So she set off on a new mission. She flew across the garden, past the colorful flowers and over the green grass, her eyes searching for the perfect sleeping spot. And then she saw it, the gardener's house. It looked warm and sturdy, and best of all, one of the windows was open just a little tiny bit. A perfect invitation for a very tired little fly. Mrs. Fly gently and quietly flew inside. Instantly, she felt the difference. The air was warm and completely still. There was no wind blowing her around, and there were certainly no flying leaves to worry about. It was peaceful and quiet. "Ah, this is perfect," she whispered to herself, feeling a wave of relief. "Here I can sleep peacefully." She found a quiet little corner on a windowsill where a sliver of sunlight was streaming in. She yawned one last big, happy yawn. "When spring comes," she thought sleepily, "and the trees are full of new green leaves again, I will sleep on the leaves again." But before she could even finish her thought, Mrs. Fly's heavy eyes closed, and she fell fast asleep, safe and sound, dreaming of sunshine and springtime. And that's the end of our story about Mrs. Fly and her autumn adventure. She learned that sometimes when things change, we just need to find a new, cozy spot to feel safe. I hope you enjoyed our story today. If you did, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more wonderful storytime adventures. We can't wait to see you again soon. Bye for now.